Welcome to this explainer. Today we're breaking down something incredibly fascinating, how MediaTek is, completely and radically transforming. They're going from being your traditional mobile chip maker to an absolute, undeniable dominant force in AI hardware. If you've been watching the semiconductor space closely, you already know the landscape is literally shifting right under our feet. So we're going to look at the hard data, the actual timelines, and the brilliant strategic maneuvers that let MediaTek capture just massive ground in the ASIC, or application-specific integrated circuit market. Okay, let's dive right in. We'll be navigating through 4 key data-driven chapters today. 1. The Google TPU partnership. 2. The billion-dollar AI forecast. 3. Navigating rising chip costs. And finally, 4. The quiet power in AI. Starting off with Section 1, the Google TPU partnership. To really grasp this monumental shift, we've got to look at the crucial infrastructure behind Google's TPUs, or tensor processing units. This right here is where MediaTek's transformation truly kicks off, and honestly, it's a total masterclass in seizing the moment. So Google initially wanted to transition to a 448G SerDes architecture. Think of SerDes as basically this ultra-high-speed data delivery system meant to massively boost their TPU bandwidth. But, well, their partner Broadcom hit a major wall. As we can see here, they ran into some really severe technical roadblocks, things like signal security, heat management, and overall power consumption, which of course heavily delayed their progress. Now, MediaTek, they saw this opening and immediately swooped in with their highly successful, ready-to-deploy 336G SerDes solution. By having the exact right tech ready exactly when the market demanded it, they completely flipped the script. And mapping out the production timeline brilliantly illustrates exactly why MediaTek secured this contract right now. Look at this timeline. The advanced 2-nanometer production process that's actually required for those super complex next-generation DSP modules, it simply isn't going to reach massive scale until 2028 or even 2029. But here's the kicker. Google actually needs to deploy their TPU v9 way before that, in 2026. So MediaTek offered a super pragmatic, high-performance solution that fits the immediate manufacturing realities of today rather than making them wait for, the theoretical capacities of tomorrow. Moving on to Section 2, the billion-dollar AI forecast. Now, this single technical victory, it has completely rewritten MediaTek's financial trajectory. This isn't just a pat on the back for their engineering team, it's creating massive financial ripple effects for the company's entire future. And it all boils down to this staggering number right here, $2 billion. Thanks to these recent strategic wins, industry analysts have aggressively bumped up their forecasts, projecting MediaTek's AI ASIC accelerator revenue to hit this $2 billion mark in the year 2026 alone. I mean, that is an absolutely incredible leap from their traditional reliance on just the mobile sector. But actually, that $2 billion is really just the baseline. If we look at this bar chart visualizing the data heading into 2027, you can see revenues are projected to just surge into the multi-billions as global AI infrastructure rapidly scales up. The sheer disparity between these two bars really highlights just how explosive this growth phase is expected to be for MediaTek's bottom line. It's huge. And the thing is, this explosive growth isn't just a Google story. As these points show, MediaTek is aggressively expanding its footprint across a much wider spectrum of major cloud service providers, or CSPs. Basically, they've proven they can play at the absolute highest level of AI acceleration, and now they're scaling those infrastructure deployments globally, securing this incredibly diversified portfolio of massive enterprise contracts. And why does this matter? Well, because that kind of diversification translates directly to long-term market safety. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket. All right, let's look at Section 3, navigating rising chip costs. So obviously, growth of this magnitude doesn't just happen in a vacuum, right? The reality of global manufacturing right now is, frankly, incredibly complex. Because they simply can't absorb these escalating macroeconomic costs anymore, MediaTek is officially passing on a price hike. Looking at this breakdown, we see a confirmed 10 to 15% price hike across vital product lines. That includes mobile system-on-chips and power management ICs. But it doesn't stop there. If you factor in current market discussions, that hike could potentially reach a 20% ceiling. The fact that they can successfully enforce these increases really demonstrates their immense pricing power in today's market. So you might be wondering, why are prices jumping so drastically? Well, according to MediaTek COO and General Manager Joe Chen, mapping out these cost drivers reveals basically a perfect storm of 5 specific supply chain constraints. Step by step, we are seeing 1. Unprecedented component shortages, 2. Tightly limited production capacities, and 3. Severely extended supplier lead times. And then when you combine all of that with rising raw material costs and increasing logistics expenses, well, you end up with a structural environment where hiking prices is literally the only mathematically sound option for a manufacturer that wants to maintain high-end R&D. Which brings us to our final chapter, Section 4, the quiet power in AI. By successfully navigating all these crazy costs and still delivering exactly on time, MediaTek is completely altering the fundamental dynamic of the semiconductor ecosystem. They aren't just surviving these market pressures, they're actually weaponizing them to solidify their dominance. The fact that they can seamlessly transfer these rising costs to clients, that proves there is an incredibly resilient demand for their specific infrastructure solutions, despite all the global challenges. Ultimately, it's their technological maturity and this super strict, disciplined adherence to product schedules that has let them completely outpace much larger traditional infrastructure players. Because, let's be real, in the high-stakes world of AI deployment, delivering a working product on time is way more valuable than promising some sort of theoretical perfection years down the line. I absolutely love this quote from industry observers. They describe MediaTek as a quiet power. I think that just beautifully highlights how their disciplined execution has allowed them to expertly hedge against all the traditional volatility of the consumer electronics market. Basically, they've turned themselves into an undeniable yet incredibly understated heavyweight in cloud infrastructure, all through this intensive growth in the AI ASIC sector. And that brings us to our final thought for this explainer. As we watch their multi-billion-dollar AI revenues scale up toward 2027, and as they exert this really intense pricing discipline in a constrained market, we have to ask ourselves, has MediaTek permanently rewritten the semiconductor hierarchy? Like, will the traditional tech giants ever be able to catch up? Or is this quiet power now setting the pace for the entire future of AI hardware? For anyone relying on the cloud, which, let's face it, is essentially all of us every single day, it's a truly fascinating shift, and for sure one we are going to continue to watch very closely.